Hi, welcome back to my jaw surgery journey. I am currently 2 months post-op, double jaw surgery. So I had an underbite and a crossbite. So I just wanted to put out a quick disclaimer that everybody heals differently. This is my jaw surgery journey. This is not how all jaw surgery journeys go. Of course, it depends if you have single or a double jaw surgery. It depends if you have an overbite, a crossbite, an underbite, an open bite, whatever your problem is. Your age also contributes to whether you recover quicker or slower, how your body scars and tends to do a surgery, how you do with anesthesia, blah, 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 blah. My point is everyone heals differently, and this is just my journey. So if you feel that at 2 months you're not at the same point that I am, or if you look back at my other videos and you're thinking, at 1 week I'm looking way better or way worse, just know that everyone is different. And I know it's hard not to compare yourself to others, especially when you're having the surgery or thinking about having the surgery, but try your best not to feel that way. I know it's like easier said than done. You will get through this if you are having the surgery. I promise it, you will get through it. So just hang in there. So my last update, I believe, was about a month post-op. In the past month, I have regained some feeling. My chin, lower lip, and gums are still numb. However, I'm getting some, or a lot, of pins and needles feeling whenever I touch the right side of my chin. Just the slightest touch, like here, I'll feel it almost like up here on my lip, which is funny. And it's like pins and needles just all the way up. And then when I continue, I can start like pins and needles all the way up here through there. On this side, I don't have any of that. It's just numb. Interestingly, when I push hard, so that was just a light brush against the skin, and it's like, oh, it feels so weird. But when I push, I can feel it in my tooth. So this tooth right here has like a pins and needles feeling to it, which is really bizarre. So whenever I'm washing my face or drying my face or putting lotion on or whatever, and I push hard against that, oh, it feels so tingly, but not where you'd expect. Like, it feels tingly in my tooth. All that means is that the nerves are regenerating, and hopefully soon sensation will return to normal. My upper lip no longer feels as tight as it did. Before, I still felt quite swollen and stiff. It does, interestingly, because my teeth are now further forward with my jaw, my upper lip feels like it kind of needs to reach further to close on top of my lips, if that makes any sense. So I'm still a lot of times, like, my mouth, especially after I've spoken for a long time or when I'm singing in the car or whatever, my upper lip does not automatically close. So I'll kind of like, it just won't reach all the way to my bottom lip. Another thing I've noticed with this sensation coming back is that when I drink, especially cold drinks, I'll feel wet sensation a little bit further. It's like right here instead of kind of right here, which is where that tingly feeling is. But I'll feel like a cold, wet sensation, even if there's nothing there. Just the act of drinking something cold and having it in my mouth will make this part feel wet and cold. It's really bizarre. At 6 weeks, my surgeon cleared me to eat food, whatever food I wanted, as long as it fit in my mouth and was comfortable to eat. I started off with dim sum, I think was my first meal, which I had kind of already been eating small dumplings cut up, but I had like a full-on dim sum meal. And then I was eating cereal and can't quite remember the first few meals I had, but it was definitely strange. I felt like I couldn't, since my gums were numb, I couldn't quite feel how hard I was chewing the food, and so I didn't know if I was actually crushing it up to the point where I could swallow it easily. I did not chew with my mouth closed. I could not do it. Because I was so kind of unused to eating with my jaws the way they were, I had to every time I ate, I had to be so specific about my movements because I just didn't know what I was doing. My body was not used to kind of the automatic movement anymore because I hadn't done it in a month and a half. That was a learning curve. I think about a week and a half of eating, I started to get more comfortable. I still, sometimes it helps to have a mirror because I can't feel where I'm placing the food. I can't feel if it's dripping, if it's a big piece of food. So the other day I had sushi and the rolls, some of them were fine and I could fit them in my mouth. Others were too big. And so with the chopsticks are great actually because they're easy to fit in your mouth. They're not curved like a spoon or a fork. I was putting it in my mouth and then I couldn't open all the way. So the sushi got stuck along my front or my top teeth. And so half the sushi was being pushed into my mouth through the opening and then the other half was being blocked by my top teeth, and it fell apart. So it would have been helpful to have a mirror at that point or a phone camera or whatever, because I would have been able to tell that it was not going into my mouth and I was just spilling everywhere. Straws are getting better. I think around week 6 started to drink out of straws. It was not easy. I think it's lip protrusion or lip suction, or there's something about my lips that prevents me from easily drinking out of a straw. And I think it's just when I protrude my lips like this, it's also hard to close enough to make a suction. So I'm still working on that. Obviously, things are easier when they're thin, so like water, but like a milkshake or a smoothie or a whatever, those are a little bit tougher. At my 6-week appointment, my surgeon told me to do some stretches. So basically stretch open and hold for 10 seconds. So do that for 10 seconds. And then he also talked about, although I haven't really been doing this because it feels weird against my teeth, kind of make that Korean heart that everyone does, and then put the index finger against the lower teeth and your thumb against the upper teeth, and hold that for 3 seconds and do that repeatedly. I have been doing it, but not as often as I should. He said that I didn't need to do them. My jaw would slowly gain more range of motion, but this would just accelerate the process. Also at my 6-week post-op appointment, my surgeon informed me that I had fibrosis, I think is what he said. Basically what it is scar tissue that got inflamed or hardened or something. So on the inside of my cheek, basically connecting kind of where your wisdom teeth would have been, but on the cheek side, on the inside, connecting down to my gum area down here, there's like a band of tissue. You know when you snag like a sweater and then there's just one thread that gets really taut and then everything else around it is loose? That's what it feels like. So I have that in my cheek. So it's like all the skin around the inside of my cheek is normal, and then I have one taut band of scar tissue that kind of juts out because it's pulled so tight. But because of that thing there, it often creates like a food pocket. So I've been using my water pick. Thank goodness I have a water pick, a water flosser. Food will get trapped in between that little whatever pocket of cheek and gum, and the water flosser is the only way I can get it out. I cannot get it out with a toothbrush. I cannot get it out with my finger. I cannot get it out by like gurgling water. So that's a problem. I've been massaging it. The other day I spent like 45 minutes just massaging the area, and I think it's reducing. I don't really know, it's hard to tell, but hopefully that will get taken care of soon. I have lost 16 pounds since surgery. I am actually quite happy with this result because I was trying to lose weight before surgery, and this kind of jump-started my metabolism or whatever. Since the liquid diet and the soft food diet, I have been eating less than before. So my appetite has shrunk as well. My stomach has gotten smaller, and therefore I'm not as hungry. Because of that, I've been able to maintain the weight loss and lose more weight since starting to eat more normal food. So I tried to get a clear understanding of what exactly happened during surgery. I believe from the pictures I've gotten, or from the documents I've gotten from the surgeon's office, they moved my upper jaw forward 6 millimeters, my lower jaw to the right like 4 millimeters or 3.5 millimeters, and then they tweaked other stuff. So they did like 2 millimeters up like this way, or you know, whatever. But the big stuff was 6 millimeters upper jaw forward, 3.5 millimeters lower jaw right. So if I'm wrong, tell me, because I don't know. That's my understanding of the images I got. I thought I should also give a little update on how I'm looking. So right now I have my Invisalign in, so let me just take that out really quick. This is my smile, and it looks pretty similar to how it did pre-surgery. I'm a little less gummy on the sides, but interestingly, my overall gumminess is more, I feel like. So when, not when I smile, but I can make like this part of my gums show. And I used to not be able to do that. I used to like just never be able to kind of get that part up. This is my range of motion. So I can get almost 2 fingers in, which is about where you want to be. My surgeon said 1 finger per month until you reach the whatever recommended, like 3-ish fingers. But my bite is really straight. I love it. It's crazy. My molars work so much better. I can chew things and my molars can touch. Also slicing things like noodles, so much easier. Although I've always used my tongue to slice things. Like I would have pushed my tongue up against my top teeth and then used my tongue as kind of the bottom teeth in a way to just basically jam everything up against this like slicer of my top teeth and then slice things that way. And I still find myself doing that just out of habit, and so I'm constantly telling myself when I'm eating to don't use your tongue, don't compensate, because you don't need to anymore. And I also used to eat on the left side of my molars because my right side didn't touch. So now I find myself automatically putting food on the left side and just pocketing it, but I don't need to do that anymore. So it's a a mind battle to get things back to normal. Like I have to tell myself that my anatomy is now correct, and so I should be able to do it correctly. I think that is all I have to update on. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to be back with another update, maybe 6 months. I don't really know. At this point, my healing is pretty much done. My bones have completely fused back together. Obviously, my nerves are still waking up, but that hopefully will continue. I hope at the 6-month mark, I'll be back, but it can take up to a year. Pretty much anything you haven't regained sensation-wise after a year is most likely permanent. So hopefully that won't be too much of a problem. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!